Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So a couple of weeks ago I went to the Brussels Expo Femme Creativa or something like that, if I remember correctly. So it's like this exposition hall with a lot of um, stands where you can buy all DIY kind of stuff. And one thing that was really recurring were like fabric merchants, which had really a big range of different kind of fabrics. And one thing that caught my eye was the bamboo fabrics. So I bought this bamboo fiber um, fabric. It's like fleece, more or less. And here are the specifics. And this is 40% bamboo fiber, 40% polyester, and 20% cotton. There were also some fabrics that had more bamboo in it, but it was then less soft, and I really like the softness for this. And the great thing about bamboo fabrics is that bamboo is a plant that grows extremely fast, so the process of making fabrics is less harmful for the environment. So here, for example, to make this fleece, you use 40% of bamboo instead of adding more polyester, which is basically kind of plastic, and when you throw those things away, those clothing away made out of polyester, it becomes microplastics that go into the sea and, you know, pollution and stuff. So I really like this. I own different other things in bamboo, so when I saw this, I was like, yes, I absolutely need to buy it. And the project I want to do, I want to work on is actually my mother's birthday present. And the idea that the shop owner at the expo gave me was making little reusable cotton pads. So obviously instead of cotton, it's gonna be fleece. Or this fleece kind of fabric. And so I'm gonna make little squares of this. And on the other side, I bought this really simple cotton white fabric, which I'm going to decorate with some embroidery. And then I'm going to put them together. So to make double-faced cotton pads, the fleece part, the bamboo fiber part, to actually remove the makeup, and you know, the white one just for decoration. I can add either floral patterns, or I can add some inspiring quotes. I have not decided quite yet what I'm going to do with it, but I really hope you will enjoy this project. So if you're interested, follow me and see you in a bit. Okay, so here's my bamboo fleece and the piece of white cotton where I'm going to apply the embroidery on. The white one doesn't have a double side. I think it's the same on both sides, while the fleece actually has a double side. So while putting the two pieces together, I will have to be careful with that. And obviously I'm going to use an embroidery loop. So here we have my square. This is divided in 4 pieces, and I will have to work with 2 pieces at a time inside the embroidery loop. I don't have a big one, so I'll have to adjust with the one that I have.
So here are the 4 patterns that I drew on the piece of fabric. So we have the first one, which is La vie est belle, meaning life is beautiful in French. Then a kind of mimosa plant with the wrong leaves but still, a lavender, and then some wheat. I think those are nice. I wanted to keep it minimal, especially for the floral ones. And now I kind of have to decide if I want to work horizontally or vertically on my loop. It doesn't make a big difference, but I would like to have as much space as possible at the end, especially for the edges of the loop. So starting with the lettering, for the letters I'm going to use a split stitch. So once this is nice and done, I can go and start with the leaves. In this project I'm going to use double colors, and for the leaves I'm going to use 1 strand of dark green and 2 strands of light green. I don't have the DMC codes for these colors, so I don't really know exactly which ones these are. So, and for the leaves I'm using the fishbone stitch. So I made flowers orange with a simple stitch. I don't know if they have a name, it's kind of a satin stitch. Anyways, and then with yellow thread I'm making a French knot for the center of the flowers. So here, same thing as the flowers. In order to make each little grain of wheat pop up a little bit, I passed over and over the same stitch to make that little effect, so it's not bad. Then for the stems, I obviously use the stem stitch, and then for that bow or ribbon, I'm using a back stitch. It's easier with those tight loops to have a higher definition of them, instead of using, for example, the split stitch, which I used for the lettering. With the split stitch, it's easier if you have bigger loops, while for the tight ones, I kind of prefer using this back stitch. So in the meantime, I completed the lavender, which has been made also with the stem stitch, with the fishbone stitch for the leaves, and then the satin stitch for the flowers. Same thing with this mimosa plant, where I'm using also a stem stitch and then a kind of satin stitch for those kind of leaves. Okay, so here are the 4 patterns finished. I'm quite happy with the work. So now I have to cut these 2 fabrics the same size.
So there it is. Then I can put this on top of it. Here are the four. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this one. So what I have to do now is put both the outside together. I put them like so. And what I'm gonna do is I will have to stitch all around on 3 sides. So then after that I can turn it around and stitch the last side. Okay, so what I did here is I first traced with a pen on the backwards of this piece the line where I want to stitch. I did this because I'm going to do this by hand. I don't have a sewing machine right now, so this will have to be done by hand. It's gonna take forever, I know, and I don't do this on a regular basis, so I'm not particularly good at it. So what I also did is I have no idea how you call it. I pre-stitched it with just a loose stitch, very pink by the way, so I can actually easily see it, to keep everything in place so that it doesn't move and it stay as good as possible. I'm not going to show on video the whole stitching process because it's boring and it's long, but so I'm doing a backward stitch, I'd call it, and that's pretty much it. For this one I'm going to use the white, a white thread, but I might change for the other 3 pieces. So I'm going to keep working, and so yeah, we'll see each other at the end. Okay, so this is my last one. I have stitched all around the edges. Now I'm going to stitch up until half more or less to then turn it around. Yeah, I have 2 different colors because I kind of ran out of white, but so I'm using the blue now. So what I need to do here is close up this hole. And what I do is stitching first on one side and then going on the other. Keep doing that until the end, and then I pull to fasten everything, and then I close up. Obviously, I have to be careful not to stitch on the outer part. And this is why I took one. Ugh. But I'm gonna leave that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to find a matching color. Like for example, here I might use a yellow to stitch all along the edges. So it gives a little bit more of color, but it also makes sure that it will help to keep these 2 pieces attached together. So for this one I'm using 2 strands of this dark yellow. And I'll keep doing this for all 4 sides until the end. Okay, so work finally finished. Here they are, all 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, the seams on the sides are matching the smallest color present in the piece. So here we have the orange that match the little flowers, purple to match the lavender, then yellow for this kind of mimosa, not mimosa, and the purple for the bow. So this is the side used to remove the actual makeup. It's very soft, very nice, and for a first time doing this, especially sewing an entire project by hand, I'm actually happy for how the result is. It's pretty, it's nice, and I might do it another time for myself maybe also. So yeah, this was it. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye!